Welcome in. Mot Sports. I'm with my full crew today. We got Connor and Zach here. It's been a couple weeks, boys, since we've all been together. How have the last couple weeks treated you?
Very well over here.
All right. Good to hear. Congrats,
How about you,
Connor.
Connor?
Passing your exams there.
Thank you, sir.
Your licensing exams. Moving up in the world. And Zach, congrats on your personal issues you've been dealing with, and we've got some good news today. So good vibes all around. All right. So we had a good week of good weekend of sports, I believe, with the NCAA tournament now going down to 4 teams. We had some good Sweet 16 and Elite 8 games that we can recap. Our second chance bracket from last week is a disaster. We had Gonzaga and Arizona meeting in the final. That ship sailed first day. So, yeah. So we had, let's see here. We had UCLA. I had UCLA beating North Carolina. I was pretty upset that they couldn't pull that one off. They blew that one at the end of the game. UNC's just on a roll right now. Hard to pick against them, but they got a nice win over UCLA there in Philly. Con, what surprised you most about that matchup if you watched it? Did you watch that game?
With the UCLA game, the biggest thing for me was kind of like how they were down during the game, but the confidence of the team never wavered. They always stayed true to the course, and that shows a championship mentality that we haven't seen in Carolina really in the last 5-6 years since Roy Williams was there and everything doing his thing. I mean, everyone slept on them through the ACC this year, and everyone slept on them leading up to the tournament. I know we always said we love Carolina against Baylor. Well, then they played UCLA, and I was like 50-50 on that matchup. It really just depended on how they would shoot the ball. They're very predicated on shooting the three. They're very predicated on running a fast tempo. And I really felt like, it was really their defense as well in that game that closed them out as, UCLA really struggled from the field. I think they shot like less than 25% in the last 10 minutes of that game. I want to say it was something. So for me, that was what led them to victory in that game.
Yeah, Caleb Love, I think, had 27 in the second half.
Yep.
I mean, he just woke up, and he was going off in that second half. If he's on, they're really hard to beat. I mean, when he's scoring 20+, I wouldn't pick against him. I would think they beat Duke if he scores 25 points. If he scores 25, they beat Duke.
I mean, when in Cameron last month, he had over 20. That's not
exactly, yeah, and they beat him. But yeah, then we had the upset of the weekend with St. Peter's, the Peacocks beating Purdue on National Peacock Day. I guess I was in the minority thinking Purdue was going to win. I think we all did. I don't know what you thought, Connor, but Zach and I last week thought Purdue would take that pretty easily. They had 5 days to prepare for that game. And just another disappointing season for Purdue. They're just not a good tournament team. They can't close out games. I feel like they always work their way up to this number 2, number 3, number 4 seed every year. And they always disappoint in the tournament. Always disappointing. NBA talent on that roster, and they can't beat a team that they should beat any day of the week. Frustrating to watch. I think UNC Purdue would have been a really good game.
Would have been
a better
really
game than what we saw.
Yeah, man, it was those turnovers for Purdue, and we love Jaden Ivey heading to the next level. I love his game. I love how he can get in the lane, he can dish, he can shoot, he can do everything. He's a 3-level scorer. But when he gets to the lane and gets double teamed, and he was just almost trying to do too much, not letting the game come to him, so to speak, when I was watching that game. And St. Peter's capitalized on those turnovers. Like, that's really all it was. And we shut down Ivy, and we try to mitigate our one-on-one matchups with the bigs. That's what they did, and they're the only team in NCAA history to win multiple games as a double-digit underdog. I mean, they just got hot at the right time. That's why we love March Madness.
That's why their coach is going to Seton Hall.
Seton Hall. Yep, he played there too. So.
Yeah. Yep. McDonald's All-American with Kobe Bryant. don't know if you guys saw that the other day. I saw that clip. It's pretty intriguing by that. He was played on the McDonald's All American team with Kobe, and then he went to Seton Hall, which is weird. But so yeah, we had that upset, and then we had Villanova taking care of Michigan. I think we all expected that. Sorry, Michigan fans there. But Michigan they were just one piece away. I don't know how much Freaky Collins played in that game. Seemed like he didn't play that much. But yeah, Villanova they scored 63 and 50 points in both their games over the weekend. I mean, that got them wins against those two teams in Michigan and Houston, but Kansas is a whole nother animal. But yeah, I think if Michigan had one more piece, they would have probably taken Villanova in that game. I think Hunter Dickinson was missing some shots he should have made. I think Michigan was just rushing all their layups. Like all easy shots they were missing. They were just rushing them. They let the moment get to them.
Yeah.
And then we had both number 1 seeds going down. Houston beating Arizona, and then Arkansas beating Gonzaga. I think I was more upset with that Arkansas beating Gonzaga than I was Houston beating Arizona. Just because Gonzaga, man, they had so much hype coming into the season. They're pretty much a lock to make it to the Final Four, I thought. I thought they had the easiest region out of all the number 1 seeds. I thought that with Chet and Timmy coming back, plus they got some good shooters, that they could beat anybody. But, I mean, they couldn't even score 70 against Arkansas, and Arkansas's defense isn't even that good, as you could see when they played Duke. And throughout the whole SEC all year, teams were scoring on Arkansas pretty regularly. That was just a little frustrating to see. Both number 1 seeds that we both predicted to go to the final go down in the first day. And that's just March Madness. That's just what we love. And you gotta deal with your bracket being busted. Just hope one of the teams you picked happens to win it all out of the 3 or 4 brackets you make. Shoot, one of my bracket pools I'm in right now. I'm long gone. I had Gonzaga. But my buddy had Duke. Second place has Villanova. First place has Kansas. And fourth place has Duke. Or no, not Duke. Who's the other Final Four team? UNC. Somebody actually picked UNC to win it all in that.
Wow.
Whoever wins the whole thing will win the bracket pool. So it's like 4 teams vying for it out of like 25 entries, which is pretty cool. And I've seen some Final Fours where people picked 3 out of the 4. In one of my pools, I only did 2. But not one of mine, somebody had Miami beating Kansas. Like, that was their prediction to make the Final Four.
Wow.
Yeah. I know, right? And good thing Kansas had that big second half against Miami. Little bit of recency bias there with that 4.5 line they dropped the other day for them against Nova. I think that they're only looking at the second half of that game for that line and what Kansas can be when they wake up. But yeah, Kansas, man, they looked really good against Miami in that second half. Miami just couldn't hit a shot, really. And then we had Duke beating Texas Tech, which that was a really good game. I think that one could have went either way. Texas Tech was trading buckets with them pretty much all game. Duke was just, Coach K made really good adjustments. They found holes in the zone, and they used Mark Williams a lot at the rim. Texas Tech didn't have good size. So they were throwing a lot of oops to Mark Williams. I thought that was a good game plan. And they switched to a zone, which Texas Tech didn't know how to prepare for.
Yeah.
So that was good. And then they took care of Arkansas. Kind of knew it was the end of the road for them. Only 2 players can only carry you so far. So I think we got a good Final Four Blue Bloods this year. All right, Villanova, Kansas. Who do you guys got? I'll let you guys get. I need a drink.
I'll let Zach start because we haven't heard from him.
All right. This is a tough one, but I think I'm going to go Kansas. Just because I really liked what I seen in that second half against Miami the other day. Miami was up 6 at halftime, and Kansas ended up winning the game 76-50. So I mean, they came to ball out that second half. They really put the foot on the pedal, so to speak, and they look like a completely different team than they did in the first half. And I just feel like they'll keep that momentum rolling. I feel like Michigan exploited a couple weaknesses in Villanova as well as Houston. I feel like they both exploited some weaknesses within Villanova, and I think Kansas will be able to capitalize on that. I think they keep it rolling.
Okay. Yeah, we got to talk about. So yeah, Con, you can go.
I mean, it's tough. Justin Moore injury was a big injury for Villanova because they have that lack of depth on their team. They just don't have that much depth. Gillespie was a little banged up on Saturday too.
Yeah.
I mean, the matchup I'll be watching will be Ajabi or Agbaji. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. Number 30 for Kansas. Sure. Versus Jermaine Samuels. Jermaine Samuels, most outstanding player in that region, in the South region.
Man, Villanova guy through and through.
Yeah, like he's the prototypical guy. I was a 3-star. I worked. Jay Wright coached me up because Jay Wright's the better. I like Jay Wright more than Bill Self based on the talent. The talent that he has to deal with. That comes with school in comparison to Self. I mean, it's tough. Villanova, they won 2 national titles in the last 5 years. They've been there. This Kansas team hasn't been there. I want to say Villanova. I don't know why. Something about me just wants to say Villanova. I feel like if Kansas can't shoot the ball, Miami was not a good defensive transition team. Well, Villanova is. No. They don't offensive rebound. They miss. They go back. They don't go for any offensive rebounds. That's not their game. They're going to go back and get set. And Kansas is really strong in the transition. It'll be interesting to see who steps up for Villanova without Justin Moore because he tore his Achilles on Saturday. But I'm going to lean Villanova right now. I'm going to be different. I'm going to be the devil's advocate here. I'm going to go Villanova.
Fun. That's
Colin Gillespie finally breaks out for a big game that he's due. He's due for one. He's due for a 25-point game.
4.5-point spread. So I think this game's going to be decided on Remy Martin. If Remy Martin scores 15, Kansas is running away with it. If he doesn't, then it's going to be a slugfest because Villanova, I believe, is the only team in the tournament left that can. I mean, they can win in the 50s. They'll win dirty. They'll win ugly. They don't care. They'll win ugly, but they can also win in the 70s. We've seen them score 70 against Ohio State. We saw them score 80 against Delaware and 63 against Michigan. So they can still score. Yeah, a lot of that did have to do with Justin Moore hitting points. The game averages 14 a game, I want to say. And Kansas is healthy. But if Villanova can attack the paint, and that's one thing Kansas is missing, is a nice big man. McCormick is very soft. I would hate him as my 5. That's one thing they can attack. They can get a lot of buckets at the rim. Jermaine Samuels, like you said, will do that. And, dude, Villanova will have the next man up. Like that Jay Wright will have somebody off the bench we never heard of. They got that Arcidiacono kid. His brother's playing.
Yeah, the 5th Arcidiacono, the 5th one.
Yeah, like they got another one. So Jay Wright, I think they'll be fine. I'm just waiting for that line to creep up. If that line creeps up to 5.5, I'm going to take Nova on the points, especially with the over-under being 132 right now. I just feel like with that over-under being so low, 5.5 is a really good – it's good odds. I like those odds for Villanova to cover at least. I do lean Kansas, though. Because I have Kansas to win my bracket, so I'm going to lean them. I think Agbaji, he came back. He could have entered the NBA draft last year and been a lottery pick, probably in the teens. But he came back to win a national championship. And I think he has a good game, but they need him to show up. So I think he will. He'll get a 15 or 20, and I think Kansas takes it just because Nova's going to have problems scoring. Kansas is a tough team.
Yeah, and Villanova, to add to that, Colin, Villanova showed that they can struggle offensively against Houston. I mean, putting up 50 points, that's not going to get it done against Kansas.
Shot, dude. I think they shot 1 of 18 from 3. Like, they couldn't hit a shot. And that game was in San Antonio, Texas, I want to say. They had the home crowd behind them.
Who?
Houston. That's
Houston,
why they
okay.
beat Arizona. Yeah, they had that home crowd, and Arizona was always overrated. I just fell for the hype. Should have
Same.
known that them barely beating TCU was a red flag.
Everyone. Everyone likes Kansas because of the depth and.
Christian Braun's the X factor. Christian
Braun's a good player. Yeah, good rebounder.
Very
Can
good
get out
player.
transition. He runs the show.
Yep.
I agree with that.
I do lean Kansas just because they're healthier right now, and we don't know how Villanova's going to look.
Funny story here to shoot the shit a little bit. Zach, remember we're at the bar back in January, and we're talking to that couple, and they knew him?
Yeah.
Crazy. Man.
Yeah.
They knew who?
Christian Braun.
Yep.
How? How do you just know?
They're from Kansas. They had, I don't know, ties to the team.
Yeah. That night, Texas had played Kansas, and Texas beat Kansas, so that was pretty awesome. It was like they were there cheering for Kansas. I was there cheering for Texas, obviously.
Yep.
Give one of you guys $5 if you can tell me where Christian Braun's brother plays basketball. What college?
Christian Braun.
His name is Parker Braun.
Parker
Braun.
$5. Do I get a hint? Do I get a hint?
Oh.
Do I get a hint there? I like it.
No, you don't get a hint. You don't get to look it up either.
I'm not looking it up.
Give you $5. You just looked it up. I can see your eyes. Look at me.
Mirror. No, I'm not. I don't have a guess, man.
I
needed a hint. Oh, okay. They were a fun team to watch this year.
Santa Clara. Yeah, they're fun. Like me some Santa Clara. Anyway. Well, two of us think Kansas. One of us thinks Villanova. Let's talk about this other one, the more intriguing of the two matchups. Coach K, potentially his last game versus UNC, the team that beat him on his home floor on his last home game. This seems rigged to me, like 8 seed and a 2 seed meeting up here, and it's got that storyline behind it. I'm gonna predict Duke. I like me some Paolo Banchero. 15-plus Duke win would be my bet if I had to bet this game. Probably 20. I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of points in this game back and forth. Yeah, I just think Duke, they're going to play for Coach K. And I would still think they'll have trouble against Kansas. I think that they're going to remember that L they took at home on senior night. I hope Coach K made them freaking watch them celebrate too. But I think they're going to remember that L they took and play harder for Coach K. Last Final Four game, last collegiate game potentially ever. So I think they're going to leave it all on the table, and I think Mark Williams will match up well with Baycott. I just like the way Duke matches up with UNC.
Okay.
What do you guys like?
I'll let you go, Con.
This game's tough, man. I think Duke will be really prepared for this game. This is a really good game. We have a contrast of styles. We have a contrast of coaches. Obviously, the two biggest teams in college basketball. I'm going to bet. Can I bet the over?
Over-under, I believe, is 151, if
over.
I remember correctly.
Over. It's going to go over 160.
Same game, Paolo, Caleb Love, Baycott boards, Mark Williams points, Roach points.
I'm gonna say Duke. I'm gonna say Duke because I just feel like they have more players that can make that big time shot. They have more players that can be, they have AJ Griffin. He's been doing good, but Wendell Moore is an X factor for me for Duke. They're as good as him. He's
no more. Yep.
Mark Williams is. I think Mark Williams is a better basketball player right now than he was a month ago.
Yeah, dude, he is.
He's a way better basketball player.
just oops and blocks. Oops and blocks.
I think
He's
Duke
literally
figured
like
out how to
DeAndre
use
Jordan.
him more and utilize his skill set more. And if I do that, now I have more room for Paolo to do what he does best. If Manek's on him, get Manek 2 fouls and get him out of there. That's what I would do.
Yeah, right.
Because UNC goes if he's a stretch four, he's a matchup nightmare. He hits threes. He's been in over 40% in the tournament.
They will put Manek on Paolo because
yeah, go
Michigan
at him.
State put Paolo.
I want to say Duke, Coach K, the story. It's easy, but like if UNC wins, I'm not at all surprised. Like not even because they just beat them, obviously. But at the same time, like it's just.
So you're picking Duke?
I'm gonna go with Duke. I just think too much firepower. Coach K, he won't lose to UNC.
Okay.
Coach K is destined to win this tournament. Duke should win the Final Four.
All right, Z-Lay, who you got, bruh?
I'm gonna play contrarian role here. I'm going UNC.
UNC.
All
right.
So basically, I'm going UNC just because it just seems like Duke hasn't really had an off game yet this tournament, and I don't know. I don't think they can finish it off. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on their shoulders to try to finish this out for Coach K and send them off on a good note. And I don't think they get it done, man. I think this is where the train stops. I like the momentum that UNC has had lately, like even more so than Duke. I mean, one could argue they're probably the hottest team coming into the tournament, like of all the land. And they're just continuing to show that with their performance thus far in the tourney. I really like Manek. I really like Baycott. I don't see Duke stopping Love or RJ Davis. So I mean, I don't know.
RJ it's not a fan of RJ.
I think this team is gonna find a way to slow Duke down enough to be able to get the win in the end. And I'm going North Carolina. Something's telling me they're gonna pull it off. Like even though logic would say otherwise, because like Connor said, it's Coach K's last season, and his players want to send him off, riding into the sunset. I get that, and like that'd be a beautiful storyline, but I don't know. I don't see it happening because like even if Duke beats UNC, I got Duke losing to Kansas.
Yep.
So
and
one way or the other, I don't think they pull it off either way.
I don't think they pull it off because they've choked all year. So they lose to Virginia Tech in the ACC tournament final.
Exactly.
Choke. Yep. They lose to UNC. Coach K last home game. Choke.
But shouldn't those games prepare them for this game?
You think, but I think they're still the same. They're still young.
Yeah.
Who's their senior leader?
Coach K.
Yeah, well, see where that's gotten them. 2 L's in big games.
But they're playing UNC. You can make the same argument for UNC. Who's their leader on their team? We're going to talk about leadership. If leadership wins basketball games, Colin Gillespie won the national championship. He's the best leader on 4 teams.
Right. But it's more of a Villanova's injuries that's going to derail them. Because if Justin Moore was healthy, I think Villanova's plus 100, maybe plus 1.5. Like he brings that point spread a little bit towards Kansas because he averaged 14 a game on a team that averages 60. That's what 15 out of 60. 25% of your points are gone.
It's 25% of points. I get it.
Where are you getting that production? So, yeah, but I think Duke does win, but I think they lose the national title. I just think that they're gonna choke. Like they have been all season. I mean, there's nothing to show me that they'll do otherwise. And if they win it all, that's great. I just don't think that with Paolo as their number one player, they're going to play through him. I think Kansas would have a good, or even if Villanova wins, I think one of them will be able to shut that down. Now, if Villanova wins, I might change my prediction, but I'm firmly believe Kansas will win against Villanova. So I got Kansas beating Duke to take it all.
Okay.
And I would have Kansas beating UNC.
Remember when I said Colin Gillespie plus 3,000, most outstanding player? Plus 750 now.
Wow.
sprinkle would have been nice when we were talking about it right before March Madness happened. I was like, these odds are way too high. Because, like, if Villanova's going to make it far, he makes them tick. Like, it's him. Jay Wright on the court. He probably passes his son. So, yeah, we got Kansas, 4.5-point favorite. Over-under is 133 right now in the Kansas game. And then we got Duke as a 4-point favorite against UNC. Over-under 151.
I'm going to go under on the Kansas game. Over on the Duke game.
Under 133, over on the other one. Okay.
I'll go over for both.
And then if Duke and Kansas play in the national championship, Kansas is a 1-point underdog.
Yeah, I think Duke beats Kansas if they play. And we're going to highlight Mark Williams again because no one can guard him. He's 7'1".
Yeah, McCormick upsets me. And they got some other big Lightfoot, Mitch
Lightfoot. He's like 20. He's like 29.
Yeah,
not really. I'm being sarcastic. He's been there since 2016. He started Arkansas, transfer in 2018. He's old.
Well, he's not good at basketball.
You hit the nail on the head, man. Remy Martin, Pac-12 Player of the Year last year. Supposed to be the stud. Supposed to be the stud. And we've seen him in the tournament, kind of finding to get into his groove again, beginning to get into that swagger. He's a good shooter.
Yep.
Good off a ball screen and knock down the 18-footer. That's his game. He makes Kansas go offensively. If he's hitting shots, I think Kansas is a whole different team.
So, yeah. So you got Duke winning the Natty.
Weekend.
Zach and I have – well, Zach, did you pick Kansas, didn't you? We both got
Kansas. One of my brackets I did.
I mean now.
Yeah, just now I picked them too.
Yep. We both got Kansas. Don's got Duke. All right. Moving on. Feel free to follow us on Twitter at Mot Media 1, Instagram at Mot Media 1, and then TikTok's Mot Sports. We're just getting into it. We're going to be trying to release a couple of videos every day, so give us a follow for whoever's listening. Yeah. We're going to highlight some NBA clips on there as playoffs approach, and then we'll have some more college basketball videos as the weekend approaches. So shifting into the NBA focus, I got the standings pulled up here. We're getting down to crunch time. Do you guys know when exactly the playoffs start, like the date?
I want to say it's April 16th.
April 16th, yeah.
April 16th. Yeah. Cool. So we got, what is that, just over 2 weeks away until playoffs. The East is pretty much locked in as I'm looking at the bracket here. The Knicks are 4.5 games out of 10th place, with the Hawks are in 10th. The Hornets are in 9th. The Nets are in 8th. So those three teams are all separated by 1 game right now. So that will shift. Cleveland is 1 game back at 7th place from the Raptors at 6. 1 game back. So that could shift. Bulls are in 5th place, also tied with the Raptors in record. So the Bulls, Raptors, and Cavs, that could flip. We don't know whoever's going to be that 7 seed, most likely will be playing the Hornets or the Hawks, which will be interesting. And then we got a fight for first seed right now. There's 3 teams 1 game back. We got the Sixers, Bucks, and Celtics. And the Heat is number 1, which I don't see the Heat closing it out. Not the way they've been playing. 4-6 in the last 10. I like the Bucks or the Sixers to take over that 1 seed. Whoever would probably be my pick to make the finals. I mean, that home court advantage is insane when it comes to the playoffs. So they're all going to be fighting for that. That Sixers Bucks game going on right now. If Embiid has a really big night, I can see him taking the MVP. Him and Joker, I think, are both minus 105. If I remember right.
Yeah, 2 neck race. Yeah, it's about right.
Neck race, which is interesting to me. Why Philly? Yeah, they could be. I think if they're the 1 seed, that Embiid will win it. But Denver's a 6 seed. Is that because Joker is the only reason why they're even in the playoff picture?
Yeah, they would be in the Kings, Trailblazers area, Thunder area. Man, Jokic is the MVP. Most valuable player on that.
He's had a great season. I think if Sixers are the 1 seed, he'll get the MVP. But yeah, really not much to talk about on the East besides fighting for that 1 seed. So I'm going to take the Sixers. Man, I don't know. I think I'm going to lean the Bucks actually to take that 1 seed. I think they're going to have better games closing out. But that's tough. I'm going to lean Milwaukee getting that 1 seed and Philly getting the 2 seed. That's just my leans. You guys got the table pulled up?
I do. We got 4 teams, 1 game separating. Wow.
Yeah, dude. It's insane. Boston's been on a heater lately. They've won
8 of their
25
last 10.
8 of the last 10. I think 25 of the last 27. It's been insane the run they've been on. I could be wrong, but they've been on a hell of a run.
Oh yeah.
The Bulls, I mean, they just need to get healthy. They'll be fine. There's going to be some good playoffs in the East. The East is going to be, I mean, you've got Brooklyn as a play-in game right now. You got Kyrie playing all the games. So that's a team I do not want to see in the play-in. I think if I'm the Hornets or Hawks, and if it's that last game of the year, I think I would tank to try to play Cleveland rather play Brooklyn. But I think they'd have a better chance against Cleveland than Brooklyn. The West is a little close too, but we got the Pelicans and the Lakers.
Yeah,
And the Lakers
I think the Suns come out of the West. I don't see another team that could beat them in 7 games.
Suns or Warriors. Don't sleep on Curry in the playoffs, man. Draymond, Clay. I would not sleep on the Warriors. Yeah, Suns are an easy pick because they're definitely locked up the 1 seed already. Memphis too, man. Memphis is gritty. I mean, if Golden State has to go to Memphis, and that'll be a tough game for Golden State. I mean, Memphis is going to have.
They match up well.
They do. They just blew them out the other night without John Moran. I don't think they had Curry though. So
yeah, I had Sixers Suns when that trade happened with Harden. That was my prediction to the finals. So I made a bet on that. Sixers
looking good so far for that. That'd be a good entertaining finals. It's not a bad pick at all. Definitely going to be Sixers or Bucks in my opinion that make it out of the East. I don't think the Nets have what it takes. But Zach, I made a TikTok about it too. But what about your Lakers, man? We got Lakers, 10th place. They're about to get passed by the Spurs. I mean, the Spurs. They have 1 good player.
Yeah, I mean, that's just how it's been all season long. We just haven't been able to find that chemistry. We haven't really been able to get one going. And then when we start to, we lose guys due to injury. AD's been hurt multiple times this year. Malik Monk, Avery Bradley, they've been in and out of the lineup. Monk, not so much, but a little bit. LeBron's missed his games due to, injury management, the knee soreness he's having going on right now.
He's 37. Yeah.
I don't think Frank Vogel has a good grip on this team.
He'll be fired.
Yeah, they need a new voice in the locker room, man, to right that ship because he's not the guy. I mean, he was the coach when we won the title in the bubble, a couple of years back, but I don't know how much of it had to do with him.
Well, the bubble was weird. I mean, you had all summer where these guys are resting up. I think if the playoffs would have happened normally, Lakers don't win. LeBron had a whole summer to rest up for the freaking healthy LeBron.
If the season ended today, the Lakers would have the worst defense heading into the playoffs. Them and the Hornets would be tied for the 2 worst defense. And I've seen the Hornets play defense, and they don't know what it is.
Yeah, they don't play defense down in Charlotte. LaMelo doesn't believe in defense.
Yeah, I think even if Lakers somehow find a way in the play-in game, they're getting bounced in the play-in game. I just don't.
Minnesota, pretty good guess that they're going to be the 7 seed. So then we got Clippers versus the Pelicans for that 8-9. So that's going to be Zion versus Paul George. Paul George coming back tonight. That'll be a good game. That'll be a good game right there. Pelicans and Clippers.
Is Zion coming back then?
There've been talks about it. I would not be surprised if he did. But he won't play 30 minutes. They got Brandon Ingram, Jonas, CJ. They got some, and then they got Zion after that. I wouldn't want to see the Pelicans either. They're a weird team.
Yep, and BI just came back from a lengthy hamstring injury, so that'll help them a ton for sure.
Yeah, my sleeper getting out of the. I mean, I like Minnesota. Man, they've been playing very well with Cat lately, and Patrick Beverly is turning Cat into a monster.
Do love me some Karl Anthony Towns, isn't that right, Zach?
Con,
Love him.
you also like that Trey Mann from OKC, don't you?
He had late scratch last night. I was a little bit kind of wasn't paying attention on that one.
Yeah, I know. I was laughing at him. Like, that's the one week you have to pay attention. You got to stay up.
It was a late scratch, like literally a tip. So.
Yeah, I know. I was on chatting with Nick about that one. We were online, so. But yeah, we got some interesting playoffs coming up here in the next week or two. We'll have a clearer picture and then start giving game predictions, series predictions, some player props. We can talk about bets. I'm game for all that. I'm ready to throw some money at the NBA playoffs. So that's when the stars show out, and that's when they're going to be playing their most minutes. So that's the best time to get their props because you're going to get their props at their season averages. So, and a lot of times they go over those.
All right, guys. So I got a dark horse prediction to make a deep run in the postseason, and it's kind of not a dark horse because, like you already alluded to, Colin, they've been playing better as of late. But I really think the Boston Celtics have a legitimate shot of making the finals.
I mean,
why?
Tatum, Brown.
No. Williams just tore his meniscus. He's out for the season.
Yeah,
I do not without Williams.
No, I know he got hurt, and that's going to be a big blow. But I don't know, man. I just really like the way Ime Udoka has been coaching up this team. And Jason Tatum's taking his game to a new level. It seems like he does it every season. Jaylen Brown is still evolving, and he's still growing as an up-and-coming superstar. So they're going to be a really tough out for me. I mean, those are two very, very skilled and good wings. They're going to be tough. They're going to be tough. Even without Rob.
I think Milwaukee matches up really well with them, with Middleton on the wing, and you got Drew Holiday that can lock up probably Jaylen Brown. He'll probably be guarding him. Then Giannis, obviously. I just don't see him getting by Milwaukee if it comes down to that. I just don't see him beat Milwaukee in 7 games. I can see them beating Philly, and I can see them beating Miami. I can see them beating every other team.
Yeah.
Philly's going to be interesting, too. Who can stop Embiid on Boston? I mean, he's going to average 30 a game in that series.
Yeah.
Well, really, it just depends on how the seeding shakes out. Like at the end.
Matters.
Yeah.
I mean, you can legitimately say, 3 to 4 teams in the East. You can even go 5 with Chicago if you really are feeling. I don't know what Lonzo Ball's situation's like. For me, he's a really big X factor for them. I know he's been trying to ramp up his stuff. If they get by the first round, would he be ready? But really, 4 teams in the East, kind of for me. You can argue any one of them. In the West, it's not the same. It's literally 2 teams, maybe 3. I think Memphis is too young. It's Warriors Suns for me in the West. I mean, in the East, I think Sixers, Bucks, Celtics, and Heat are the top 4 seeds, and they are the top 4 teams. You can even argue Brooklyn if Kevin Durant plays like Kevin Durant can play. You need to average 30 to 40 points a game, but they could also be there. The East is a little bit more shaky for me.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't sleep on Brooklyn. I mean,
don't sleep on Brooklyn. Because Kyrie's back now. That team's way different with Kyrie.
It is, yeah.
Definitely.
They still can't play defense, though. Like, there's going to be some games they allow a lot of points. And, like, teams like Philly, teams like Boston, they play solid defense. So I think Boston's got the highest point differential between points per game and opposing points per game in the East, actually. But who knows how big Robert Williams was into that. So it'll be interesting to see. But Brooklyn's got to worry about getting out of the play-in game first. 1 game and you're out. They got to show up against probably Atlanta. I don't want to play Trae Young. Clint Capella. I don't want to play Trae. He'll probably drop 40. So that'll be good battles. All right. Anything else? Anything else you guys want to add here? Anything? Any other hot takes?
No, should be really good. We'll get more of a clear picture next week with the playoff seedings. Obviously, Final Four this week too will be very interesting to see. You know, can Coach K can he end on the mountaintop, or is it going to be, you know, it's going to be one for the storybooks? It'll be really good. It's been a really good March Madness. So
yeah, a lot of upsets as everybody predicts, but nobody would have thought that Duke UNC would be meeting up in the Final Four like this. Matchup of the weekend, I think, for sure. Zach, everyone's gonna. That's the late game too. The first game is Kansas Villanova 6:09, and 8:49 is UNC and Duke. So, all right. Pay attention to our TikTok this week. I'll have some little quick clips and some audio about how both teams like to play and why I like Duke and why I like Kansas and those specific matchups. And yeah, we'll be on next week around the same time. So yeah, always good chatting with you guys. Have a good one.
thanks, man.
Yeah, you guys too. Make sure to follow us on social media.
Yep.
Like, subscribe, comment. Any and all support helps, everybody. We appreciate it.
Yep. All the support. Thank you.